Hello, today's movie is the 1932 American horror film Murders in the Rue Morgue starring Bela Lugosi. Now, I've never seen this one. I'm a massive Bela Lugosi fan, and I'm trying to think why I've never seen it. I have a feeling I recorded it off the TV on my video recorder decades ago, but something went wrong and I didn't get to watch it. So, I'm really curious about it. It's directed by Robert Florey, and horror fans will probably know that Robert Florey and Bela Lugosi were the team originally slated to make the 1931 Frankenstein, but the studio changed their minds and it didn't go ahead, so they're teaming up again here. Very curious about how they're going to tackle this interpretation of the Edgar Allan Poe story. Let's check out Murders in the Rue Morgue.
Oh! What the hell? Oh my god. No!
Isn't this the same music they used for the introduction of Dracula as well? Swan Lake? Why not? Oh, Carl Freund, the cinematographer. Fantastic. Robert Florey adapted it as well. Oh, look at the gorilla! Fantastic. Look at the gorilla's eyes! Oh, he's got rays coming out of his eyes. I'm excited now. This music is a sensational choice for a horror film. So dramatic. Wow. Fantastic opening shot.
We would continue our studies of anatomy. Yeah, much nicer than visiting a morgue.
Nice getting the morgue reference in there and setting up the fact that they're medical students. Oh, look at that gorilla poster. That's fantastic. Ooh, side of belly button. Don't see that very often in films of this period. Now they've covered it up. I want that poster.
Behind this curtain is the strangest creature your eyes will ever behold. Erik, the ape man, the monster who walks upright and speaks a language even as you and I, the ruler of the jungle, whose giant hands can tear a man in half.
When were gorillas discovered?
Erik, the ape man, the beast with
This
a
is set in the
human
1840s.
soul, more cunning than a man and stronger.
I have a feeling they were discovered after that.
Step up, ladies and gentlemen.
I am loving this evocation of the 19th century sideshow carnival. Oh, there he is.
Lift it over there.
Ooh, very German expressionist makeup look there.
I'm not exhibiting a freak, a monstrosity of nature, but a milestone in the development of life.
Oh,
Listen to him, brothers and sisters. He's speaking to you.
oh,
understand
that's
what
a
he said,
chimp in a cage.
have you
That's so
forgotten?
sad.
I will translate what he says. My home is in the African jungle, where I lived with my father and my mother, and my brothers and sisters, that I was captured by a band of hairless white apes and carried away to a strange land. I'm in the prime of my strength. And I'm lonely.
Oh. Bella's great in this. Fantastically different role from
Yeah.
Dracula.
Do they still burn men for heresy? Then burn me, monsieur. Light the fire. Do you think your little candle will outshine the flame of truth? Do you think these boards and curtains are my whole life? They are only a trap to catch the pennies of fools. My life is consecrated to a great experiment. I tell you, I will prove your kinship with the ape.
He's so compelling to watch.
Erik's blood shall be mixed with the blood of man.
Yes, the problem with this for a modern audience is that's clearly a chimp, and they're saying that Erik is a gorilla, which maybe people back then didn't really know the difference. Poor chimp.
That has ruined your bun. I will replace it, Mademoiselle. I will send you a new one with Erik's compliments. Will you tell me where you live and what your name is?
Never mind, monsieur. It was an accident.
But I insist. Where do you live, my child?
It is not necessary, monsieur.
Creepy.
I must know where she lives.
His assistant does look a little bit, you know, half human, half ape. I think he's been doing some experiments. Wow. Fantastic shot. Look at that. Ooh. Ape in a carriage. I've never seen an ape in a carriage before, and I love it. These sets are brilliant. Very German expressionist. Not many Hollywood films of this period where that influence is so strong. Wow. Another sensational shot. Oh, someone's going over. The photography in this is stunning. Wow. That was really violent. Guess this is free code. Oh gee. That is incredibly creepy. Wow, what a shot.
Lady in distress?
Who are you?
Come with me.
Where?
Carriage.
No, no.
Very atmospheric. Well, that's so like the Black Cat. Almost the exact same shot.
Are you in pain, Mademoiselle? It will only last a little longer. Ah, you stubborn! Hush! It will only last one more minute and we shall see. We shall know if you are to be the bride of science.
Oof. Bride of Science. This is incredibly grim. Very different to what I'd expected. And Bela is just stunning me in this performance. So dynamic. People who criticise his performance in Dracula as too slow, I think fail to take into account that there was a director on board and that must have been what he wanted, or he would have changed it. He's fantastic in this.
Your blood is rotten, black as your sins. You cheated me. Your beauty was a lie.
Look at his face.
Yes.
The difference between this and Dracula is that Dracula is such a stagey movie and it's a stagey kind of performance, whereas this is a real film performance.
Get rid of it. Get it away.
Wow. So dark. Gotta say, I'm kind of amazed by this film so far. I think the supporting players are giving an acting performance in a different style which doesn't quite work for me, but Bela is absolutely smashing it.
The same marks. Marks. See them? They're on the others, too. I'm sure he'd
I
make you
don't
a
know why
very
they
fine
insist on adding these
I'll pack
comedy
his things and
bits.
Send them down.
Were they
Don't
afraid
be
of
badly
making
here,
it
monsieur.
too dark?
I had to hurry myself.
Do I remember reading somewhere
You mean
that
about
Murders in the
being
Rue
product of
Morgue
evolution?
was the first detective
Has it
story?
occurred to you that he might be
Ever?
right?
Nowadays this would be
Pierre!
marketed as a serial killer investigation movie with this detective at the forefront. Oh, the stamp with the gorilla face on it! That's so cute.
From Dr. Mary, I told you. The funny old man at the sideshow who owns the ape.
Oh, I see. The
Funny
ape
old
took your
man.
bonnet and the
He's about
gentleman's
40.
replacing it.
Well, then.
Come there, mate. Young Charger, champed at the bit. Come
I feel like these characters belong in a different
Bring the
movie.
chicken. Why aren't you dressed up?
They're like musical comedy characters. Oh, that's a great shot.
Don't I look different to you today?
Fantastic.
Oh.
The way this is filmed is so different from other horror films of this period, other American horror films. That poster of Erik really makes a feature of his boobs. The world building in this movie is better than any other I've seen in a 30s American horror film. Really compellingly creates the feeling of a an early 19th century French setting. What would Robert Florey and Bela Lugosi's Frankenstein have been like based on this?
They went inside, and after that, there was
Tragedies
no
of the river.
sign of life. Not a sign.
Paris, my city.
The whole sensibility of this film is so much more European in a way that Dracula and Frankenstein really aren't, even though they're both set in England. They feel very American.
Good night, dear.
Good night, Pierre.
The lighting, cinematography, it's all brilliant. Look at that. The textures of the walls, all the details. Love it.
Pierre?
Mademoiselle, you will pardon the late hour, but I had to see you.
What do you want, monsieur?
Don't be alarmed, mademoiselle.
But it is of greatest importance.
Oh, please go away.
Mademoiselle, you must come. Please, do me this favor.
Oh, let me close the door.
He's
I'll
so
call for help.
predatory.
But I have a message for you from Erik. He talks only of you.
I feel like watching this, Bela Lugosi has been liberated from something. This performance is so sort of free and so different from his other roles that I've seen him in before. Like he's been given a free hand and he's really making such great use of it. Showing what he can do. Wow. Love that shot.
There, Erik. She's up there.
This is really a forensic detective story, isn't it? Which is a pretty modern concept.
Paul, wake up. Wake up.
What's the matter? What?
I found it. It's the blood of a gorilla.
I knew it.
Gorilla? Those women, don't you understand? They died because a gorilla's blood was injected into their veins. Camille.
Look at that creepy drawing on the wall behind him. It looks like Pennywise. This is a pretty disturbing concept for a story. All this stuff with the shadows, it's so German, it's so like Nosferatu, using the shadows to convey the approaching menace. Love it. That's straight out of Nosferatu, isn't it? Even the editing in this is fantastic.
Oh, my baby.
Mother!
Not sure what's being implied there.
Camille!
So, in that previous scene, were they implying that she was raped by the gorilla? Because that's pretty horrific. See, once again, the comedy stuff is detracting from the, you know, the drama, the suspense of the moment. This is a really suspenseful point in the story. Why are we lingering on all this?
Were you ever in Italy?
I wonder if because the horror in this story is so dark, they felt like they had to balance it with some lighter touches. Because without that, it would have been pretty grim.
There were 2 women in this room. The only door was locked and bolted. Everybody heard screams and the sound of a terrible struggle. Within 2 minutes, the door was broken down. No one was here. One of those women was carried away. I tell you, the other one was murdered, and her body must be somewhere in this room.
Wow. Oof. And didn't Hammer later use that same image?
Young man,
Here is proof. That is not human. It's the hair of an ape. Ape. Her blood is perfect.
Must admit, I've never read the original story. I didn't realise it had these Dr. Moreau style human-animal hybrid elements in it. Well, the film does, anyway. Look at that! Fantastic! Guess that's a matte shot or something.
empty house.
Erik,
Back to
Uh-oh.
your cage.
Uh-oh.
Back to your cage. Erik. Somebody's bothering me.
Uh-oh. King Kong style. Wow. The lighting. Phenomenal. Oh.
You fool.
Wow, this is some kind of fancy process shot. Brilliantly done.
Profession? They say he was a scientist or something. Death caused by? An ape.
Wow. That was amazing. Well, I thought Murders in the Rue Morgue was fantastic. I will admit, I actually had sort of low expectations coming into this. I thought it would be a bit sort of cheap and tacky, but it was really astonishing to me. This is a Hollywood film that brings to bear all the best influences of German Expressionism. The influence of Nosferatu is so evident in this film. Also, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. The photography is so sophisticated, the art direction is beautiful. The attention to detail in the lighting, the sets, the costume is superb. What I loved most about this film is Bela Lugosi's performance. It is so different from Dracula, so different from really any other performance I've seen him give. And I love that it shows what a dynamic actor he could be given the right circumstances. Robert Florey created the perfect atmosphere to show Bela at his best, and it really makes me wonder, what would their Frankenstein have been like, given how fantastic the world they create in this film is. Now, the film isn't perfect by any means, and I think its flaws for a modern viewer lie in those slightly stagey and old-fashioned performances of some of the supporting characters, and what seems to be an effort to put comedic scenes in the film. The other problem, of course, today is that they are intercutting between a person in a gorilla costume and real footage of a real chimp. And now we all know the difference between a chimp and a gorilla. Having said that, I think Florey handles the gorilla scenes really well, and he uses that German technique of using shadows to show the horrific stuff rather than showing it directly so beautifully here, because he knows the gorilla suit is not that great. And I think it is true that gorillas were not discovered until slightly later than the time in which this film is set. The original story, I checked, features an orangutan, not a gorilla. That's about as nitpicking as I'm going to get for this movie. I couldn't recommend this film more highly if you're a fan of 1930s horror or of Bela Lugosi. And yes, I do know it's properly pronounced Bela, but I just can't quite get my tongue around that. I'm so used to calling him Bela from when I was a little horror fan. If you've enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today on this amazing film ride. I really love this one, and I hope you liked it as much as I did. I like this one so much, I really want to watch it again now. If you have any thoughts about this movie, I'd love to hear them. Let me know in the comments underneath. I will see you next time. Bye.